Welcome to Crimson Guitars. I am about to attempt to build a guitar in 6 hours. Yes, I used the word attempt, it's a caveat, I'm saving my face before we even get there. I've done this sort of a build before. One of the first video series I ever made, before Crimson was even Crimson, was attempting to build a guitar in 24 hours. It took 25, and that was spread out over weeks and weeks and weeks. We then did a 12-hour and a 9-hour, and if you haven't watched those video series, please go back and watch them. They're amusing, if nothing else. And I think during the 9-hour, I thought, I joked, hey, we're gonna have to do a 6-hour at some point, and then I said, never, 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 ever. And here we are, probably not even 6 months later. And why not? Okay, this is going to be a proper guitar. Not a bolt-on, not a kit build. I am going to build this from raw lumber. We have a flamed ebony fretboard, which it turns out had been specially set aside by James, who runs the company for me. And so he's the boss, basically, underneath me. And he'd set aside this fantastic fretboard, which I nicked without realizing. A particularly interesting piece of oak. And it's interesting because it's been dried far too quickly, so it's got check marks throughout it. And I just thought, you know, why not? And then we have a neck blank, a substantial neck blank. This was part of a staircase, an external staircase that was about 70 odd years old when it fell down, and we bought the wood, and I don't really know what it is, some sort of mahogany ish, maybe, but that's it essentially. In about 6 hours time, well, actually hopefully a hell of a lot quicker than that, this is going to look like a guitar. And this is scary. I have no idea if this is possible. What has killed... What I tend to do is I say, okay, well, here's my allotted time. I think I can do it in this, so let's throw in an inlay or a custom carve, or in this case, actually, what I wanted to do was, I've got a very, very, very interesting idea for using a sliding dovetail to join the body and the neck together. And I thought, you know what, if I do that, then I won't have to clamp it up. It'll only take me about 45 minutes to make the sliding dovetail. No, I'm not going to do that this time. Can you tell that I am dissembling and prevaricating and trying desperately to remember the word for procrastinating? All right. Can you see the stopwatch in the background? I don't want to push that button. I nearly didn't come in today. It's like, no. Somebody else, James can build the damn thing. Get Christopher upstairs. One other thing, I'm not going to be stopping for lunch or anything like that. I will be eating on the go. We considered I think it was during the 9-hour build, I nearly died halfway through. It was on a hot day, which actually it's going to be a very hot day today. We've got a couple of fans going, so apologies for the noise if you can hear that. It's going to be particularly hot today again. But in the 9-hour, I sort of nearly died come lunchtime. This time, I'm not going to stop, but we're ordering pizza, and I'm just going to eat while we go. So you might want to fast forward through the eating noises. I apologize in advance. I hate that. Is there anything else I can do to avoid beginning this build? Shaking his head no. I can't figure out how to work the iPad. I'm sorry, it's a bust. Okay, rough chronology. Start on the neck. When the fretboard is being glued up and is in place, then I'm going to move on, build the body, and we'll do that. Woohoo, we started. 6 hours. Ugh. Get the body out of the way.
This is a good time to introduce myself.
I'm not going to do as much talking.
Yes, I am.
Splinter in the first 20 seconds of the build. That bodes well.
And you deserve it. Because the voiceover was very popular in the last video series. The 9-hour build. It sounds like I'm panicking already. Which is an accurate assessment of what happened.
That's good.
I'm distracting myself, watching myself. It's very, very weird. Anyway.
Oh no!
We have a build.
See, I thought I was prepared. And I've lost my marking gauge already. That's incredibly annoying.
The benefit of having multiple tools is that you can often find something else that will do the same sort of job. Unless you're running out of pencil lead, that is.
So I need this line to be parallel to this planed side, because I'm going to be using a fence to route out the truss rod.
At this point I'm thinking I should probably, if I put the neck template up right against the end there, I will save cutting too much in the process. The issue was, or is at least, that if I put the neck at the other end I would have saved a lot more usable wood. But I wasn't thinking that until later on,
Nothing's working.
Unfortunately. Nothing's working indeed.
Nothing's working for me.
Stop singing. The truss rods we use are standard two-way dual action from All Parts, I think. allparts.uk.com, fantastic company.
Old crap headstock.
Oi, I designed that.
New hotness. I'm trying to remember a quote from Men in Black, and I can't believe that I'm trying to remember a quote from Men in Black.
That's because you're just utterly cool. Or not. In the background there, top left, you can see the 12-hour guitar. If you haven't watched that video series, you need to. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's a damn fine guitar. He says.
Okay, so not only am I doing a full-on build here, I am also making an angled headstock, full carved, angled body. Camera people leaving stuff in my way. Ah, real guitar.
Define real guitar. I don't even know what I'm talking about. There's going to be a lot of noise in this build.
Okay. Health and safety police, people. I am going to try and wear ear defenders and all of that jazz.
These Triton fences are actually very solid and relatively quick to set up, actually. We tend to use a template with a I can't remember the name of it now, some sort of a collet to go down to do the truss rod. In this case though, that is not the quickest method. I'm lucky I've got a nice square or squared edge piece of wood to use.
It's actually quite difficult to spot that.
Centre line. Go on, use your words.
Through here. The nice thing is, whatever I route, that will be the centre line as we move forward.
It's okay to draw on wood with a pen if you are then going to cut it all away. It's one of the big no-nos I've been told in the past.
You don't need goggles for this, that's very protective.
Oh, I hate the sound of those things. Very necessary, but still. So the dust extraction on the Triton's excellent. However, I do think it could do with a couple of lights inside the sort of plexiglass there. Help you see a bit better. Don't forget the depth stop. You see, this fool could have set the depth stop and everything before turning the dam extraction on. But he just didn't think. So the truss rods are about 9mm deep. So I'm going to set that for 9mm or so, and probably go a little bit deeper than that. Somebody had that on really low speed. Double check, make sure everything's working fine, and then cut. And I'm taking it down in 2 or 3mm increments. I could possibly do a little bit deeper than that, but you have to push slower. It's swings and roundabouts, really. Use the truss rod itself to check the depth. Make it longer than you should have, for no reason whatsoever. And there we are, 9 minutes, 35, 37, 38. I'm not going to do that. We're 10 minutes in and the neck has been drawn out and the truss rod channel routed. I have a box over on that workbench with various bits and pieces. This is the most prepared I've ever been for one of these builds. And yet we still forget things and mess things up. It's insane. There was a little audio glitch there, wasn't there? How interesting.
Aha.
Every single time I change the cutter and I've set the depth stop, I always forget to release the depth stop.
The other difference about this build is that despite everything that we have at Crimson, which is, you know, a huge factory floor of all sorts of stuff, I'm going to probably, unless something really, really goes wrong, build the entire guitar just here, just in this workshop. That should be possible.
So I haven't changed the fence or any of the alignments, I've just changed the cutter. And just by eye marking out the truss rod access.
Whoops.
Oops, what? What did you drop? Ah, extraction. Health and safety. Seriously, dust, nasty stuff. I can feel it in my lungs now. And once again, I forgot the depth stop. I'm also sort of just guessing the depth at which I need to cut this, which is a little bit naughty, to be honest. There are times when using a router as a sort of a plunge cutter, plunge drill type thing. Once again, I've forgotten my words. It makes life easier. So I've plunged down to depth at either end and then just joined the two. One little hole, nice and clean. It used to take me half an hour or more to make by hand with a gouge what's just taken 15 seconds, 30 seconds or so with a router. I love the sound of that neck. Thinking.
Okay.
Is it? No. That's upside down.
These things are always a bit wider up there.
So this is a 6-hour build. I did, however, come in and prepare the day before by sharpening a hell of a load of tools, which was therapeutic and fun, and didn't get me in the right frame of mind whatsoever for the frantic build to come. There we go, that's the right way around.
Okay.
As I said, the cavity's a little bit longer than it should be, but not an issue.
Alright, that fits.
Templates also make it a lot easier, especially for the necks. Come on.
Yeah, we have several options here.
There is but one true path.
We have. Okay. We're 15 minutes in. Ouch.
Thinking. Ooh, what's happening to the audio? We bought a new lapel mic specifically for this build, and it's glitching out on us. We're very sorry about that. Tinsy little bandsaw. Record have really helped set up the studio so that I could actually build a guitar. And, well, Record and Triton between them. Two UK powerhouses of the woodworking world. You could hear how solid and dense this neck wood was right at the beginning when I tapped it. And this is just eating through it. I think I say a little bit later on in the video that I'm surprised, or that I wasn't sure how well this bandsaw would cut. But, well, it's going like butter, really. There's a different extractor going. A slightly different, incredibly annoying noise in the background. That makes 3 or 4, 2 different extractors, my voiceover, my voice, the air conditioning. Why are we even watching this in the first place? Entertainment, I hope. There we go, so we're roughly 20 minutes in now. You can see I'm just nipping the corners off. I'm trying to get this as close as humanly possible within a mil of where I want to route using the template later. Ooh. We will find another use for that wood at some point. I'm liking the sexy focal length of this lens that they're using. Our media department are getting better and better and better. It's lovely to watch. So this is a health and safety thing. I always set the depth of, or the length of blade that you can see should always be only just enough for the work that you're trying to cut to pass through. Otherwise there's a chance that your hand could pass through. Oh, that's a thinking expression on my face there, isn't it? Contemplation. 18 minutes 30 seconds. I have no idea why we didn't have a timer in the background of the last builds. Or why I didn't cut the headstock brake angle. Well, I know why. So this is to make it nice and square as it goes through while I cut the headstock brake angle. I could have done that beforehand, but I was worried about how well this bandsaw would cut through such a large, dense chunk of wood. As it turns out, I didn't really have worried. Spoiler alert. It works well.
I don't know if this is mad enough.
It really is.
For this?
Of course it is.
We'll see.
Doubting Thomas. Thomas, that's a good name. That looks really scary from this angle. At this point, I was really worried about it going through at an angle. If the bandsaw isn't set up properly, with the right tension on the blade, you don't get perfectly square. And this wasn't perfectly square, but it was off in the right direction, as it were. You'll notice that I have multiple clamps and vices and things around, and I don't have enough. This one in particular isn't actually strong enough for what I'm trying to do here. Not really stable enough. It's a carver's vice. It's my fantastic low-angle Lee Nielsen plane. Although I'm trying to use it as a scrub plane of sorts, and I have got the mouth far too tight for that. That's better. You can see the vibration, the flexing in the vice. It's just not good enough. When you're trying to plane something flat, you need a solid bench. You need a solid vice. That vice isn't tied down or bolted down to the bench enough in order to be doing the job I'm trying to get it to do here, which is just a little bit annoying, as I will realise in a short while.
It's going to be a hot day today.
Realise, damn it, come on. There we go. I've also got far too much stuff everywhere. There's a little vice in the way. Yeah, I think work holding is the secret with any craft. There we go. So now it's nice and stable. Now I can actually get a flat surface of sorts. Nearly 23 minutes. Already the bench looking cluttered. Just wait for a few hours from now. You'll know I'm losing my cool when I start throwing random tools instead of putting them away. I just throw them on the floor. That fretboard is gorgeous though.
Seriously?
Yes, seriously. Seriously gorgeous. That's nasty, nasty, nasty spray. So bad for you. Line everything up nicely. And other than a little bit of design help, this is the only section of template that I use to actually help route anything. I could just as easily have used two straight pieces and marked out the neck width, etc. manually, but yeah, no need.
Nice.
Is using templates, pre-prepared templates, cheating? Potentially. I don't think so though. Wait till we get to the 3-hour build.
I always forget the depth stop.
Every time. So the entire collet comes away, depending on what size router cutter shaft you were using. And still, this is the quickest changing router I've ever used. So, short bit. This is one of the 3-flute radian cutters. I don't want to take huge amounts of material off at once because of the danger of, especially while doing a neck, catching the end grain and just destroying the whole thing. At this point, we just can't.
No, I don't need them.
What did you say? Talking over myself. Mumble, mumble. Watch that wire.
This is a bit precarious.
A bit precarious.
That's life.
If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. So, tentatively, I'm just feeling what the wood's trying to do. It's slightly cross-grained. And then I'm taking a pass. It's taken about 4 or 5 mil of wood away. And I've set the neck high enough off the vise that the router cutter's not going to go anywhere near it. This is the scary bit. You can see my left arm is resting on the neck itself, and I am clenched up. If the router decided to catch, I was going to try and hold it as much as I could. Nice shot, Sean. As I go round, I'm moving the pressure point that I'm holding the router, so where I'm pushing down on the neck, so that it's always pushing down in the right place. It sort of becomes second nature to you after a while. I'm amazed at how steady Sean is holding this camera at that crazy angle. By the end of this build, both the camera people and myself were in huge amounts of pain. So please support our Patreon to help pay for chiropractors and counselling. He keeps on trying to build guitars faster and faster, and we've got to film the damn process. Anyway.
We are at 30 minutes. How's that for timing?
You're awesome.
Done. The neck is... There we go, we can play that. We are going to swap the cameras over. this camera person's over, they get a break, you see. Union rules or something like that, I don't know. And I'm going to carry on building, so there'll be about a 30-second or so wait while that one swaps over from that one. And come back for the next episode soon. Goodbye.